Been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
Forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy skies, on and off showers and thunderstorms for your Wednesday. A little cooler, too. Today's high 74. Cloudy skies tonight with a few spotty showers and a low of 62. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, Tony says we got to do it.
Well, then, if Tony said we have to do it, we have to do it then.
Yeah, I mean,
what do we have to do?
I was only kind of thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
And then Tony said a few minutes ago we have to do it.
Tony has spoken.
It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Now, yesterday, we had floated the idea of, since I was very rudely banned from the Hendricks County Lincoln Day dinner, because they don't want Diego Morales getting asked again who paid for India, because the guy's an out-of-control, corrupt, unethical goof who can't keep his story straight and can't lie very well. They were very worried about another episode like we had in Clay County where I humiliated him in front of everyone, and his arms were flailing in the dry mouth, and he was shouting, and then when he was so flustered when he got up to give his own speech, he said, "I paid for India!
I did it."
And people are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? So they desperately didn't want that. They didn't want Micah, if he's there, getting asked how he ended up at Game 3 of the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon. They don't want if Craig Haggard, he's there getting asked why he lied to our audience about redistricting, et cetera, et cetera. So they just banned me from the event.
Rather than deal with the truth, they just say you're not welcome.
I mean, again, it's not like you're dealing with some guy who's got, multiple, felonious convictions. I'm not listed in any post offices that I'm aware. I just simply would politely ask, as I did with Grifters R Us, the Secretary of State a month ago or a few months ago, who paid for your trip to a foreign country and what did you do there? But the Republicans, because they as a party are so corrupt and they know what these people are, and instead of dealing with it like any decent person would and say, you're a disgrace, you're out of here, they say, no, we'll ban the guy who might ask the question. They also don't want me getting attention because they know if I go to this thing, I'll be the center of attention, and they don't want that. So they put the ban on me, which is fine. They can do that, whatever. But the suggestion was then made, hey, you ought to have your own Lincoln Day dinner.
Isn't it interesting that you become the problem rather than them?
But
in their eyes, you're the problem. Versus addressing the truth.
But it's not surprising, Casey, because this is who they are. They know what they are. They know what they're mad about. They're not even mad that people know. They're mad that someone with a platform has the ability to tell people what they are. That's what angers them. And Tony was right. Tony, and it was very nice of Tony. He had me on at the end of his show today, and we had a little back and forth about this. And he's absolutely right. All they had to do was just let me go. Tell Diego don't show up.
Right.
Or
you don't even know for sure if he was going to be there.
No, is my understanding he was going to be there. But just tell him don't show up. let me go. There's 100 or 200 people or whatever it is there. They already all have an opinion on me and what's going on anyway. They all know. And if he's there, let me ask the question. Let him not give an answer again. Let him embarrass himself. We'll come on and chuckle about it on Monday, and then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
But by banning me,
They made it worse.
they've made it a massive story.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. And now Tony says, hey, this is a phenomenal idea. You got to have a Lincoln Day dinner.
Right.
Sounds like a lot of work, though.
It does, but I think it's being received very well.
Well, it is.
The idea of it.
But I don't want to have to do any work. So I'm going to put you in charge.
Oh, I see what you've done there. Hey, I'm a good party planner.
Now, we had talked about partnering particularly with our pal Indy Reporter as well. So I don't know. We're going to kick around some things here and figure out if we want to do this or not. I told Tony nothing this weekend, though. The Ryder Cup is this weekend, so I'm out. So it'll have to be at least Monday before I start actually putting on the. And I've got to stop by the Arby's today to find out what their catering prices are, because my goal with this, because these Lincoln Day dinners, they're always so expensive.
Sure.
That regular people a lot of times can't afford to go.
Let's do it on the cheap.
Yeah, I want to like $25, $30, $40, whatever. And instead of some rubber chicken dinner you don't like anyway,
Right.
let's do Arby's.
Sure.
It'll be less expensive.
Yeah.
And we'll do it that way.
Rather than cocktails, let's just
yeah.
it's a beer budget.
It'll be Arby's. And you're coming for the speeches anyway, right?
Yeah,
So
Carl had mentioned, Tony's producer, hey, if I have tickets to the Lincoln Day, should I just take Rob? What are they going to do? Block him from entering?
here's the thing. I really didn't want to go because they're so boring.
Right.
But isn't it crazy that 2 months ago when I talked to that guy, Phil Clay, who's the chairman of the Republican Party, I knew that little two-face
He was going to get squirrely.
was going to do it. Even though he's, we're cool, man. It's all fine. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I know what that guy's going to do. And I started planning for this then, and they did exactly what I knew they were going to do.
Well, you always say you know them better than they know themselves.
Yeah, and so thank you to Phil and the rest of the people there for doing exactly what I knew you were going to do, which worked out flawlessly. And now tens of thousands of people have seen exactly what you guys are and how you operate. And so in theme of that, I think at 10 o'clock, I'm going to give a sample of the Lincoln Day speech I would give.
Okay.
Now, it'll be an abbreviated version because we're not going to take up, the 15 or 20 minutes. But I'll give an abbreviated Lincoln Day speech, like if we did have the Rob Kendall Lincoln Day event of what you it'd be a lot more animated. I might use some more colorful phraseologies I can't use here on public airwaves, but we'll do that at 10 o'clock if that's right
Does
with
it have
you.
a theme? An overarching theme?
Yes. Truth and honesty.
Oh, wow. You've got something to say about that.
Okay, so in the meantime, there is a lot going on. Why don't we go ahead and take a break?
Sure.
Because the governor did something so ridiculous yesterday. Well, he did two things that were so ridiculous yesterday, and I want to make sure we can get to both of them in the next segment.
It's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
It's the start of our favorite season here in Indy, football season. That's right, with all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy real quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the games, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all those fumble moments in your home. And lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at zeroresindy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. And don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and you'll get 3 rooms cleaned by the Zero Res Pro starting at just $129. $129! Plus $75 off duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141. Online at zeroresindy.com.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
now 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Guys, it's game on at Synergen X and Low T Center, your TRT MVPs.
Book a free TRT consultation and automatically enter for a chance to win autographed sports memorabilia, tickets, and more. Female patients, you can win too. Book at TRTMVP.com.
Give family a call for your family maintenance plan, 317-577-8077. Maintenance is crucial.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Okay, so the governor did something so ridiculous. Well, two things, even by his own standards yesterday. But there could be a job in the future for you. So
we're looking into it.
Let's try to work through this here for a second. It's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So the governor, Mike Braun, came out and he has formed or named people to a committee who will decide the 3 vacancies on the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission.
Correct. It's a nominating committee.
And these are the people who either approve or tell the utilities to kick rocks when they come to them asking for rate increases. Now, what's hilarious out of this is one of the people who was named is Susie Jaworski, the energy secretary.
Correct.
So the governor has come out. Now this is the hypocrisy or whatever you want to call it of this guy. So in the session, he signs a bill that everybody acknowledged will force consumers, to pay more for utilities.
Right.
This Dr. Frankenstein SMR small modular reactor bill, which allows utilities to recoup 80% of their cost on technology for nuclear, whether the technology works or not. So everybody has acknowledged this is over the long term going to force people to pay more for utility bills. People begged him not to sign it. People told him what it was. He signed it. He took both of his middle fingers and he stuck it in the state's face. Now he comes out and goes, oh, man, I'm so concerned about the cost of utilities. Somebody better do something about this. We got to appoint new people to the IURC. And the person he puts on this committee is Susie Jaworski, his energy secretary, who just last week went to an event and said these energy companies and energy projects
and tech companies
should consider suing or should sue these municipalities who string them along. Municipalities who go through the process properly, who allow people to have their voice, elected officials who make decisions after they've heard all the facts from all the people. She wants these companies to consider suing the municipalities. That's who Mike Braun says is going to be in charge of picking the people for this commission that he says, oh, these got to be advocates for the consumers. And he's now said, by appointing her to this position, it's not like he's hiding her in a corner. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. I'm appalled you would say that. We got to discipline her, put her in a timeout. No, he's proud of her. It is now apparent the Braun administration's official position is that if municipalities stand in the way of these energy companies or these data centers or whatever, then they should be sued. That's now apparently the official position of the Braun administration based on he didn't fire her, he didn't discipline her, he didn't condemn her. He's putting Susie Jaworski, the energy secretary, on this commission to decide who will decide utility rates going forward.
Yeah, he said with electricity costs already a concern for residents, major tech companies will need to shoulder financial responsibility. This in regards to data centers. So is he going to change the SMR bill? Is he going to rewrite, call the session back in and say, oh, wait a minute, we got to fix this? Is that what's going to happen?
Do you think he even knows what's going on, Casey?
I think he knows he's got to fill these positions. Applications opened yesterday to join the IURC, and he said that he is seeking entrepreneurial candidates, and they have to be objective and fair. They have to bring objectivity and fairness to the table. This to protect ratepayers.
What? No! No! That is no! We've already had, for
Say
the
more
past
words.
multiple decades, essentially a rubber stamp from the IURC, not in fairness, but in the side of the utilities. No, I'm not interested in fair. I'm not interested in above board. You know what I want? Somebody who's going to tell the utilities to take their rate increases and tell them right where to stick it. I want somebody that's on my side for once, because nobody in the government's ever on my side. I'm not interested at all in fairness, Casey.
So the committee will make the recommendations, but the final decision rests on Governor Braun. Indiana is one of 4 states where utility regulators are appointed solely by the executive with no legislative confirmation. So you've got this committee, and they make their recommendation to the governor, and then the governor rubber stamps it, or he says no. Now, the applications are due by October 14th, Rob. I happen to have the application in front of me.
You're interested.
Well, why would I not go through this process?
No, I love this. No, I just want to make sure we're saying this out loud. You, Casey Daniels, are considering applying for one of these open positions.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. So the application is just general background, your name, employment, university, any college degrees.
That's right.
Your birthday, experience and relationships with utilities. They want to know if you or anybody in your immediate family has worked for any of the utilities. But then we get down to question number F.
Oh, question number F. Very good.
Yeah. Question number, I see what I did
Question
there.
number F.
Yeah. Please identify any persons or organizations who might oppose your appointment to this position. Please identify any persons who might oppose your appointment. Well, how about the governor himself? And then G, if you've taken a visible role in matters of significant public interest or controversy, please describe the circumstances.
Does it ask for references? Is there a reference section?
I haven't gotten down that far. You have to provide a written statement. But Rob,
yes.
Have I taken a visible role in any matters of significant public interest or controversy?
But why wouldn't they want that?
Please describe the circumstances. I just want to put, Governor, you were there.
But no, come back to that for a second. Why wouldn't you want that? Because that's what this is. What was the phraseology? Have you taken any roles, and what were the wording?
Taken a visible role in matters of significant public interest or controversy.
Okay, that's exactly what this is. Significant public interest, and it's controversial. Who's ever going to be on this board is going to be thrown into matters of significant public interest and controversy. If you haven't done it, I don't think I'd want you on this board, because we need people with stones. Well, you're a woman, so whatever the woman equivalent of stones is, Casey, I don't know. But whatever that is, we need men and women who have said enough is enough. We're sick of these utilities buying and selling our politicians, getting basically whatever they want, and we are in charge now, and you're done here. And they are handling, the consumer advocate is handling it perfect with this AES rate request, in which she is saying, not only should the rate request be denied, but now anytime one of these utilities come back for a rate request, we're going to try to get, because you've opened the door, we're going to try to get their rates repealed. That's how this has got to be handled. The people got to put themselves back in charge. You got to put the politicians in a corner, and we need some people who are not screwing around to be on that board.
Well, I mean, for the sake of transparency, if Governor Braun means anything of what he says, yeah, he should put someone like me or you on this board. We would be the one lone voice. Now, the application does ask for a list of both professional and personal references.
Please, can you please list me as one of your references?
No more than 3 of each. Can you speak to my character, abilities, and reputation?
Totally.
Okay. You know who else is on this nominating committee?
Who's that?
Jim Merritt.
Oh, our buddy Merritt. And he's going to be with us next.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask him about it.
Real quick, before we go to break, can we play this clip? Speaking of the governor doing something ridiculous, he was on with Gary Dick yesterday inside Indiana Business. Gary's been around forever, very respected member of the media. And he got asked about his administration, like the first 9 months of his administration. And then, I forget exactly how this happened, but it peels off into an answer about COVID. And everybody needs to hold on to their seats or steering wheels or wherever you may be, because get a listen to this.
Been in office now 9 months. Your assessment on the state of the Indiana economy?
So the state of our Indiana economy was always good relative to our peer group of Midwestern states. And that's because we're an enterprising state. We got an excellent business climate. And then you're always dealing with issues that come that impact you maybe from afar. Let's just go back to, say, COVID. You know, it was the government shutting down business that impacted every state differently for a short period of time until they had their hands around what it really was. Indiana probably navigated through that, okay. Some businesses, were maybe overly cautious with it, and I think they regret that now. I mean, some of the things we had to do to get our kids educated, but that's hindsight. We came through all that.
Oh, okay. So Indiana did okay.
There's so much to unpack with this clip.
In Mike Braun's eyes, 1 million people being put out of work, tens of thousands of businesses being shut down. By the way, idiot, they didn't shut down on their own. They did it because Holcomb made them do it.
Yes, some businesses were overly cautious. Holcomb shut it down. And then he goes on to say that we had to do what we had to do to get our kids educated. Hello? My kid didn't have a graduation. One day she was in school, the next day she never went back. And the question was, what is the state of Indiana's economy? Current. And what does the governor say? He says, was always good. He goes right into the past. No, we're asking you about today, dude. Can I call the governor dude? I just did. The camera angle, by the way, is really bad on it, too. I don't know, it's like way up high looking down on them. Somebody should have done something about that.
You do have to wonder what planet he's living on, one. And two, you do have to wonder, does he even remember that the state's only shut down because you and your goon Republican friends bribed them with trillions of dollars?
Printed money.
Yeah. Like, what planet is this guy even living on?
He says we're equal to other states. Really? Did Ohio have a $2 billion shortfall? How about Michigan? How about Illinois? I don't know the answer to that, but he was being asked about the current state of Indiana. Couldn't answer it.
Okay, so when we come back, speaking of people who can't answer things, Jim Merritt's going to be with us. Nobody knows the Indiana Senate better than him, and we are going to try to make sense of that interview Jim Shella did with Rod Bray, the pro tem of the Senate, in which he essentially refused to answer anything about redistricting. And we'll let you ask Merritt if he'll nominate you for the IURC.
If he'll give me the thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
My name's Craig Landers. I'm a union laborer for Local 120, and I'm a member of the Veteran Steering Committee and been retired for 7 years.
For members of the Laborers International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community.
I like to help veterans and family downtown. Part of the building burnt down that housed the veterans that lived there. So we donated money to help out. They lost everything they had. I mean, they didn't have much, but they lost what they did have.
When the Indy community needs help, LIUNA steps up.
People bring in clothes and shoes and food. We had a couple car shows and donated the proceeds to the Veteran Suicide Prevention.
This is Chris Bricky, Business Manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Pretty good to help them guys out. That's a good feeling to help people out.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting at an ice facility. Cloudy this morning. Right now it's 68. The high today around 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:30. At least 3 people have reportedly been shot at an ice facility in Dallas, Texas.
Fox can confirm through ice sources that there was this attack this morning at the Dallas facility. Shots were fired into the sally port of this facility along the freeway there in Dallas, and the ice confirms that the shooter is down, a self-inflicted wound, and that 3 individuals have been hit, their condition unknown. Ice telling me that they call this, quote, a clear attack on ice. This shooter apparently fired indiscriminately into the sally port. Unclear whether ice officers or detainees or who may have been injured.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. This also marks the second such incident at the Dallas ice facility in recent weeks. A potential shutdown of the government is looming, and Democrats are railing against President Donald Trump after he abruptly canceled a meeting to negotiate the matter. The president said, though, that Democrats had demands of free health care for illegal immigrants. The deadline to pass a bill to keep the government open is October 1st. It takes 60 votes to break a filibuster in the Senate, which means Republicans will need some Democratic votes. Meanwhile, the president holding a bilateral meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in New York on Tuesday. This as Russia's invasion of Ukraine rages on, with Russian fighter jets have been seen flying over NATO airspace in recent weeks. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up 48 points, 46,292. The S&P 500 also in the green, up 10 points, 6,656. And the NASDAQ trending up 47 points, 24,580. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Truck drivers and owner-operators, there's never been a better time to team up at Schneider. We have more team-friendly loads than ever, including express delivery parcel freight that offers great miles with no delays to keep the wheels turning. Plus, for a limited time, company team drivers may be eligible for a sign-on bonus of up to $16,000. Owner-operator teams may qualify for a $10,000 incentive. Explore team driver positions at SchneiderJobs.com and search team contracting jobs at SchneiderOwnerOperators.com.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease, 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us, with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Tonight down on Union Street, I'm thinking back, baby, you and me.
That Jim Shella interview with the pro Tim of the Senate was fascinating. Nobody knows the Indiana Senate better than this guy. Let's try to make some sense of it. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Look who it is.
Robert.
30 years in the Indiana Senate, the great Jim Merritt. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so we talked about this. Casey and I did, I think on Monday we talked about this. This fascinating piece in the IBJ by Jim Shella, former longtime Wish TV reporter. By the way, you and I were talking about this in State House Happenings. I miss the days where there were like the mega personalities in the media who were just in and around the State House every day.
There were some iconic people in that core.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I'm a big personality. There are other people who are big personalities, but they're not in the State House. I'm not in the State House every day. Info I get is people giving it to me. It's not, I'm not knocking on doors. And guys like Jim Shella were larger than life. I like growing up watching him, and he just felt like somebody.
Well, yeah, and these newsmen and some of our listeners, and good morning to everybody. Some of our listeners will remember Ed Ziegner, who wrote for the Indianapolis News, and Gordon Engelhardt, who wrote for the Louisville Courier-Journal, actually had somebody in Indianapolis writing for Kentucky, Indiana, and he lived a couple streets away from me, and so it was a different time where the media and they would be on the floor of the Senate wandering around, just having conversations with people about what was going on, and they knew everything, and they would actually honor off the record, and there was a lot of off the record, but that is different today. There really isn't many, if any, really deep-seated people embedded into the State House.
So Jim Shella is still, doing some media these days. He's retired from Wish TV. But one of the things he does is I think he works with our old pal Robert Vane, who does the Leaders and Legends podcast.
Yes, outstanding podcast.
Yeah, by the way, and I hate to brag on myself, but Vane told me at one point, I think my episode was like the most downloaded episode.
I don't doubt that.
Not because I'm the most famous, but I just think people are like, what is he going to say?
What is he going to say?
And so I don't know if I still am. He's interviewed people far more famous than me. Anyway, so Shella now is a part of that. But he also does a column for the IBJ.
Yes.
Indianapolis Business Journal.
Correct.
And in this column, he was talking about an interview he did for the Leaders and Legends podcast with Rod Bray, the pro tem of the Senate, and he ended up asking him some questions about redistricting, and I just want to read these to our audience. I know we talked about it the other day, but I want to get your take on it because you know the Senate so well. So he goes, me being Shella, do you have a position on redistricting? Bray, we have heard the ask and we are considering it. Me, do you know when a decision will be made? Bray, we have heard the ask and we are considering it. Shella then goes on to write, his body language is more telling. He recoiled like he wanted to curl up in a ball. It was clear that he would repeat his canned answer to any follow-up question, so I moved on. You spent 30 years in the Indiana Senate. You rose to the level of number 2 in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
What was going on with that, and how do we have a policy that's being considered that's apparently so bad or unliked by the people that this guy, being Rod Bray, the leader of the Senate now, he won't even answer the question?
Well, you and I both, and Casey, I'm sure she's here as well, that this
Hello, Casey.
Hello.
This is a bad idea, and Senator Bray knows it. He's been in the White House. The vice president's been here. His caucus, seemingly, we don't know because they meet in private, but they know it's a bad idea. They're hearing from their constituents. They're very proud of the maps they drew in 2021, and I would imagine Senator Bray, I've not talked to him about this, but I would imagine that he would much rather have those words back. And for our audience, this was cleared with the Senate that this was going to be asked, and so I think the forefront section of the IBJ is very good. They have it maybe once a month, and Shella does write for it, and Shella is a straight shooter. It's unfortunate. It's a situation where the Senate and the House of Representatives look like they're playing out the clock. And they don't have consensus in their caucus, and I think it was. I think if Senator Bray had it over again, he'd probably respond differently. It's been reported that the Speaker of the House of Representatives was asked in a public forum somewhere about it, and he said, "You'll have to talk to the governor."
Yeah, let me read this because I think this is fascinating. How they being the General Assembly just don't want any part of this. Like, not even it's Bray avoiding the question. Listen to how Shella described Bray's appearance on the podcast. So this is again from Jim Shella from Wish TV. Days before the podcast, Vane and the communications person for Bray spoke and agreed to avoid the topic of redistricting. Vane, in turn, asked me to avoid it. I said no. Journalistic ethics would not allow it. Vane tells me that he informed the Bray camp he would not guarantee I would follow their wishes. They don't even, they're telling people in these, when you request an interview, it's usually, hey, what do you want to talk about? Blah, 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 blah. Well, at some point that had to come up, and they go, whatever you do, no questions about redistricting. That tells you how bad these people know what is being proposed actually is.
Yeah, it's telling you that the leaders are being. It's like getting caught in an elevator door. I mean, both sides are hitting you, and you're getting squished. And like I said, I think Senator Bray probably would react differently if he had to do over again. But it is symptomatic or emblematic of the idea, symbolic of the idea that their constituents. I mean, we saw someone tow in 9,000 signatures against this situation to the governor's office, and the governor's getting pushed. The federal government has strings, which is age old. That most of the time the federal government does not pull those strings, but with a personality like the president and now the vice president pushing the governor, pushing the legislature, there's just an incredible amount of pressure out there to have this, and as I see it, the legislature right now is trying to play out the clock.
So you mentioned the federal government. About a week ago, Governor Braun alluded to consequences if redistricting didn't happen. And then just yesterday, reportedly, he said, I really wouldn't expect that would probably occur. So I guess the question is, what federal benefits are conditional on partisan maps?
Well, I don't know. I don't know because I'm not in the meetings, but I will tell you that when the federal government decided that on highways you have to have 55 miles an hour speed limit, and if you didn't have that, if the state wanted to have 60 or 65, then they would have purse strings on monies that they would send you, and so that's an example of the push from the federal government because of a policy they wanted. Now, there are a variety of ideas, there are a variety of policies and benefits the federal government can give Indiana right now that are beneficial to our state. and I'm certain that the leaders of the state, the governor, and the legislature do not want to sacrifice that support from the federal government. That is the pressure. That is the push.
There's always the thing, but then there's the thing, and it's like me getting banned from the Hendricks County Lincoln Day. That does, whatever. But the thing is, you're exposing who you are, that you don't want these politicians who you know are so corrupt and unethical to be asked questions. That's the thing. In this case, the thing is, they're telling you who Donald Trump and his administration actually are, that they're so petty that if you don't do bad public policy that doesn't fit for our state, we will try to screw you, or we're worried we're going to screw you. They're really telling you who the people in Washington, D.C. running this country are. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, and this has been seen from the Trump administration across the world, from stopping wars to the tariffs to everything. It's all about power and meaning force to get their point of view or their policy push to success, and it's all about a show that this is our point of view, this is our position, and this is what the ends of the earth that we will go to get our way.
Okay, Merritt, before we let you go, we start a program with this. Casey is desperate for a second job, and you are now on this IURC nominating committee, and we want to know what's involved with being on the commission because we're sick of the utility rates going up.
Mm-hmm.
So, Casey, now is your opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
Find out whatever you want from Merritt so that you can be the leader in the clubhouse to get on this board.
Yeah. Okay, Jim. So Governor Braun said that he's seeking people with entrepreneurial spirit to fill these 3 vacancies. So what are you looking for, Mr. Nominator?
Yeah, it's the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission nominating committee.
Mm-hmm.
And I've served on it since I stepped away from the Senate in 2020. I'm Senator Bray, the president of the Senate's appointee. And what I'm looking for, and what I've always looked for, is somebody that is quite knowledgeable about utility issues, about energy issues. And, in previous times, we have had a hard time finding or getting people to apply. There has always been maybe 2 or 3 nominees for an open vacancy, and there have been several. And this time we'll have 3, including the chairman's leaving in December. And so what I'm looking for is somebody that can listen to all corners, listen to all, and there are a lot of voices out there when it comes to energy issues, as well as recognizing the fact that we need an all-of-the-above strategy in this state, that being wind and solar and nuclear and coal and also that has a real interest in hearing from the public. We all talk about rates, but we also need the federal government to participate in taking kind of the onus off of state government so that we can flourish, so we can have different ways to offer power.
Okay, so the Secretary of Energy said that a lot of people have expressed interest. No decisions have been made yet, and applications are due by October 14th.
And I think you ought to apply.
Okay.
I think everybody who has an interest in the future of utilities and power should have a position, because energy is the most important issue right now of our time.
All right, well, we're going to expect a good word from you then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Kimmel is back, but nothing has changed. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Do you suffer from sore feet, back, knee, or hip pain? The Good Feet Arch Support System has helped many people find relief, like Tim.
I'm always telling my colleagues who have sore feet, this is the greatest thing. I'll even take my shoe off and show them. And I believe in the product so much. When you have something that works, you kind of want to share it with people. It worked for me, maybe it can work for you.
Or do you wake up at night with heel pain, like Crystal?
I would wake up in the middle of the night with all kinds of pain in my heels and in my arch. So I went to the Good Feet store, and ever since then, I've been pain-free. I wear them every day. I wear them when I walk, at the gym, when I work. They're great.
Get back to walking, working, and exercising, and imagine a life without pain. No shots, no surgery, no medication. You've got nothing to lose but your pain. Stop into the Good Feet store today for a free fitting and test walk. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65.
Doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Well, yesterday I wowed Casey with my charm and charisma by doing the entire Universal Windows Direct promo announcement without looking at anything but her eyes. And look at that smile on your face. You've never seen you happier. And that's because that's what Universal Windows Direct does. They put a smile on pretty people's faces. Because think about this deal they have going on right now. How could you not have a smile on your face? 3 prongs to this deal. And if you've been thinking about upgrading the windows in your home, winter's right around the corner. You don't want to have a cold, drafty home all winter long. Now's the time to strike with Universal Windows Direct. First of all, for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, no limit. Then on top of that, 3 years, 0% interest. Yeah, that's right. 0% financing. So you're going to go 36 months on that. And last, but certainly not least, $500 off your entire home improvement project. So again, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. 0% interest and $500 off your entire home improvement project. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details and schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale tomorrow, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again this week, and they're headed to the Atlanta New Earth Festival in Atlanta, Indiana. Join Pat Denny and the gang this Saturday from 9 till 1 in the center of Atlanta, just 7 miles north of Cicero and Morse Reservoir.
Okay, you've got some breaking news. I'm sure the news will get to this here in a few moments, but let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, there was a shooting that took place at a Texas ice facility. There was a sniper allegedly firing from a rooftop. He later died from a self-inflicted gunshot. This is according to Fox. And the DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem, confirms that there have been multiple fatalities and injuries. And as you mentioned, I'm sure the news will cover that at the top of the hour.
Yeah, and as information comes in on this, verified information, we'll get you up to date on that throughout the course of the program today. So again, I'm sure the news will have more information coming up here in just a few moments on that horrible shooting that took place in Texas. And again, it sounds like the alleged gunman has been taken out. Yeah. So we'll get you more as news comes in. All right. Some good news. People are lining up, Casey, to help me with the proposed Rob Kendall Lincoln Day dinner. If you've missed this, there's been an outcry of rage at the Hendricks County Republicans for banning me from their Lincoln Day dinner because they knew I was going to ask politicians in a polite, law-abiding fashion questions that they don't want to answer and the party doesn't want to answer, like who paid for your mysterious 10-day trip to India, and don't say I did it, with the Indiana Secretary of State, Diego Morales. So instead of just holding the politicians accountable and saying, you know what, Rob's right, you really should, be honest and trustworthy and transparent. They just banned me from the event, and now they've created a monster.
Right.
Because people have said,
Now you're going to host your own.
including Tony Katz this morning, who said Rob must host his own Lincoln Day. I said, okay, I'll consider it. Now I have somebody reaching out, tons of people reaching out, but somebody who has a lot of experience planning political events for Governor Daniels, amongst others, said, I will organize this for you. So look, I got to get a few days to get my head around this.
Sure.
Ryder Cup starts Friday, so no thinking between Friday and Sunday evening. But I'm off Monday, too, so maybe I'll spend a great
You'll have Monday afternoon and put some
Monday
thoughts to paper.
Put all this together. Speaking of which, the Lincoln Day, when we come back, I'm going to give an abbreviated version of a Lincoln Day speech that might entice people to say, I want the hardcore version. I'm willing to pay to see the hardcore version. I'll give the sort of speech I'd give at the Hendricks County Lincoln Day if I were allowed to attend, if they actually cared about things like freedom of speech.
I did get a preview of the speech, and you have one line in there that I absolutely love, so I really want you to put some emphasis on it.
Truth and honesty is the theme of the speech.
Okay.
We'll talk about it coming up next.
Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll talk with an oncologist within 48 hours of your diagnosis, so you won't have to wait to start finding answers.
They got me in pretty quickly to meet my team. They gave me the plan and what they knew and what they wanted to do. I was really impressed with the care team and the approach they took.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Look around. Your home could probably use some updates, but you don't have a lot of extra cash floating around at the moment, right? Don't replace, refinish with Miracle Method. From countertops to vanities, tubs, showers, and more, they'll create a custom solution to give you a brand new look while saving you up to half off the cost of replacement. Metal, ceramic, fiberglass, and more. They've got you covered. Call 317-202-1305 or go to miraclemethod.com/Indianapolis to schedule your free in-home estimate today.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Indiana Foundation Service, a Groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, a lengthy sentence for a man who killed a Kroger worker in Fort Wayne. A man in the country illegally busted again in Indiana. Who police arrested for dealing drugs that led to the deaths of 2 women, and how things went for the Fever in Game 2 of their semifinal series last night. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A sniper takes aim at an immigration enforcement facility in Dallas, Texas. I'm Dave Anthony.
It keeps getting worse and worse, and it has to stop.
That's Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons on CNN. In the shooting this morning, 3 ICE detainees were shot. 1 died.
No ICE agents hurt. That the suspect, an apparent sniper on a roof with a rifle, is dead from a self-inflicted wound.
We know that a lot of this comes from the different motivations that we're seeing online over the last few weeks as rhetoric increased.
ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan on Fox and Friends.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. We expect an update from Dallas police in the next few minutes. Jimmy Kimmel returned last night, though dozens of ABC stations refused to air his show following a suspension over comments he made last week about Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. Kimmel said last night he never intended to make light of Kirk's killing or blame any specific group.
I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Kimmel also thanked those who supported free speech and criticized his suspension, and he got a standing ovation saying this about President Trump.
Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Now, President Trump posted on Truth Social he can't believe ABC gave Kimmel his job back, calling the show Democrat garbage, suggesting it even could be a major illegal campaign contribution for Democrats. In another post, the president offered support for Ukraine, calling Russia a paper tiger, suggesting Ukraine could win back all the territory seized in the war with no progress stopping the fighting after talks with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky tells Fox.
The fact that Putin was lying to President Trump so many times also made a difference.
In Arizona, a daughter has won a special election to replace her late father in Congress. Adelita Gravalova will serve the rest of Raul's term in the House. He died in March. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Receiving his sentence. Cloudy 68 on Monument Circle. The high today in the mid-70s. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet. A Fort Wayne man is sentenced to 65 years in prison for killing a Kroger employee almost 2 years ago. John Herrick reports.
His name is Jamard Lewis, and he was punished with that sentence from Allen Superior Court Judge Fran Gohl on Tuesday. Gohl said Lewis is one of the worst criminals she's ever encountered in nearly 30 years on the bench. Lewis's attorney tried to argue that his mental health issues should mean a lighter sentence for him, but Gohl did not see it that way. Police say they saw video and photos of him stabbing that Kroger employee, Perla Nieto, to death back on December 7th of 2023. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A federal jury is finding Gilberto Hernandez Sanchez guilty of illegal re-entry into the United States. According to prosecutors, the Mexican national was removed from the country 4 separate times before he was arrested at an Indiana correctional facility last year. The trial marks the Southern District of Indiana's first illegal re-entry case in over a decade that was decided by a jury. Indianapolis police arresting a man this week for dealing drugs that killed 2 women in August of last year. While looking through the evidence, detectives were able to point to Kadeem Roach as the man who sold the drugs.
The 9th arrest for this year for the Overdose Death Task Force, showing that how far we've come really over time to get these very difficult investigations solved.
IMPD Officer Tommy Thompson. Roach has a court hearing scheduled for today. As utility costs continue going up and could jump even more next year due to rate hike requests, Indiana Governor Mike Braun is looking to add qualified individuals to the state's Utility Regulatory Commission.
Our state must have reliable utilities without overwhelming Hoosier families with skyrocketing rates.
The governor announced 3 additions to the nominating committee of the IURC, including Indiana's Secretary of Energy and Natural Resources, Susie Jaworowski. Those interested in being on the commission have until October 14th to apply. And the Indiana Fever losing to the Las Vegas Aces 90-68 in Game 2 of their WNBA semifinal series last night. They will return to Indianapolis for Game 3 on Friday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET. That's 800-5HELMET or gutterhelmetindy.com and never clean your gutters again.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
All right, I'm going to give a speech.
Yeah, you should. You totally should. You're going to give an example of a Lincoln Day dinner speech if you were allowed to attend and speak.
All right, so it's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So in honor of me getting banned from attending the Hendricks County Lincoln Day, my home county, of which I was an elected official, did all the things that Republicans are supposed to do, largest municipal tax increase in state history, cut property tax rates 18.5% in 4 years, totally reformed the government, defeated a $100 million school referendum, did all the things that the Republicans are supposed to do, having a highly acclaimed rated radio program tuned in by 50,000 plus people a day. I was banned from attending my home county's Republican event because they're worried I'm going to ask people like Diego Morales very fair, but questions that are uncomfortable to them because they're corrupt, unethical, rotten people.
Yeah, okay, so the tone and content of these dinners, they vary, but it depends on the local political dynamics and also the guest speaker.
That's right.
And if you were a guest speaker, what would be the theme of your speech?
Well, we'll get into it here in just a moment. So what I decided to do here is I'm going to do an abbreviated version of a Lincoln Day speech. A lot of times these speeches are, they're 20, 30 minutes. I'm obviously not going to do that. We got bills to pay and other things to talk about. But I said, what if I did an abbreviated speech? Because Tony Katz today was very kind on his program and said, hey, you've absolutely got to do your own Lincoln Day event. People would love this. They would come to this. People would eat this up. They would be fascinated to see what would take place. People have been reaching out saying, hey, I've organized political events before. I'd be willing to help you, to blah, blah, blah. And so I said, okay, what if we just gave people a little tease, like a little... Now, if I did my own Lincoln Day, this would be a little more colorful, some of the language that I would use at this event. But we're bound by federal rules and regulations and whatnot. So I said, well, what if we did a little 6 to 8 minute sample for the people of what they might get in addition to the Arby's catering of the of the event?
Sure.
And you said you thought that'd be a good idea, fair idea. Okay.
Yeah. So Lincoln Day dinners, they try to provide a snapshot of the party's priorities. So I'm going to be really interested to see what your snapshot should be.
And remember, we're only doing this because I was banned by the Hendricks County Republican Party from attending their Lincoln Day because they don't want their corrupt, unethical, dishonest, rotten politicians being asked in a polite manner any sort of questions because they know what they are. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And by the way, the theme of our speech, truth and honesty in the Republican Party.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today to talk about truth and honesty. Because truth and honesty, from those hearing my voice, is all that can save the Republican Party. The truth is, the Republican Party is the only viable option to save the state of Indiana. And until we are honest about what the Republican Party has become, we can never fix it or our state. We must move past campaign slogans, catchphrases, or even the party platform. We must talk about actual governance of the state of Indiana under Republican rule. The truth hurts, but I believe you are mature enough to not only handle, but also act on the honest assessment of what's going on. The truth is this: Republicans in Indiana are the party of big taxes and bigger government. The largest tax increases in state history belong to the Republicans. The biggest expansions of government over and over and over belong to the Republicans. Just this past year, a Republican governor and Republican supermajorities in the House and Senate raised taxes by more than $1 billion to balance their budget. They didn't do more with less. They're making you do with less so they can have more. One of the highest gas taxes in the nation belongs to the Republicans. It goes up every year. Yet the roads never seem to get any better. Local governments, with the express written consent of Republicans in Indianapolis, are taxing us to death. Just this past year, Republicans passed a supposed property tax reform bill that provides little actual relief for homeowners, yet still allows property taxes to climb every year, and now permits massive local income tax increases from cities and towns. Over and over and over, governments get bigger, your wallet is getting smaller. Now, people ask, why am I so critical of Republicans, but mostly leave the Democrats alone? A couple of reasons. One, Republicans control everything in the state of Indiana, all the statewide offices, the General Assembly, both U.S. Senate seats, 7 of 9 U.S. House seats. Republicans control it all. In terms of state policy and government, Democrats hold no blame because they make no choices. And number 2, I know what Democrats are. They're honest. Like Republicans, they're a party of big taxes, big government, and handouts to special interests. But at least they admit it. The Indiana Republican Party lies to all of us every day. They claim to be the party of low taxes and limited government, but they do the exact opposite. Not only does it make them failures to the public, but liars and hypocrites in the process. I will not stand for it, and I will not hesitate to call it out, even if it gets me banned from events that I should be allowed to attend.
If you're just joining us, Rob is giving an example of a Lincoln Day dinner speech if he were allowed to attend and speak. This after being banned from the Hendricks County Lincoln Day dinner.
An honest assessment also says the Republicans are the party of corruption, unethical behavior, and special interest at the expense of you. While there are numerous examples we can point to, in this abbreviated version of our Kendall and Casey Lincoln Day speech, look no further than Diego Morales, the Indiana Secretary of State. From giving a sweetheart job to a family member, to no-bid contracts to companies that make massive donations to his campaign account, to voting in a county different from where he took his homestead credit, to disappearing to a foreign country for 10 days and refusing to say who paid for it. There is an endless list of embarrassing behaviors from Diego Morales. Everyone knows it. And yet the people in charge of our government and the Republican Party as a whole do nothing. Why? Because holding the office and the powers and favors that come with it are far more important than accountability, decency, or honesty in office. We've seen the truth in who Republicans are in recent legislation that allows utilities to pass the cost of experimental, unproven technology on to ratepayers, whether the technology works or not. And in turn, utilities made massive donations to the people calling the shots who pushed the legislation through. Hundreds of millions of dollars annually are confiscated from poor and middle-class people, given to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, a shadow quasi-government entity, and that money is then given to some of the largest, most powerful companies in the world, many of whom also make sizable donations to campaign coffers. And because they stash the money in a quasi-government entity, it's harder to track where our tax dollars are going and see if they're paying off. Newsflash, they often are not.
If you're just joining us, Rob is giving an example of a Lincoln Day dinner speech if he were allowed to attend and speak at one. This after being banned from one, the latest, the Hendricks County Lincoln Day dinner.
The Republican Party has to change if Indiana is to succeed. We, the grassroots, the real Republicans in good standing, who believe in things Republicans claim to stand for, can no longer sit idly by and act like this isn't happening. Our state is being run into the ground. The quality of life and affordability of life is being taken away from us. One tax increase, one failed policy, one corrupt politician at a time. We have to say enough. We have to fight back. We have to stop coming to events and acting like this is okay. We have to stop being afraid of offending someone or getting uninvited to the parties or being spoken of poorly in social circles. If you do nothing, you are consenting to this behavior. This horrible governance is making life harder and more costly for all of us. If you say nothing, you are consenting to the corruption, crony capitalism, and disgusting actions that strip you of your wealth to better someone more connected than you. Republican politicians in this state believe you're too apathetic and cowardly to do anything about it, and thus far, they've been proven right. I once heard that every tax dollar matters because it represents someone's freedom and liberty, because you gave up your freedom and liberty to go earn it. The truth is the Republican Party in Indiana has gotten really good at taking a lot of our freedom and liberty. So my call to you today is stand up for yourself, for your family. Take your freedom and liberty back. No one is going to do it for you. Certainly not the vast majority of Republicans we find in office in Indiana. Stop accepting bad Republicans. Stop blindly voting for them if they don't honor their commitments as Republicans to low taxes and limited accountable government. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, because losing our current crop of Republican politicians in Indiana is no loss at all.
Nice.
Now, think if we did that if we got spicy with that at the Rob Kendall Lincoln Day dinner.
That was just a whisper of your thoughts.
That's right, yes. A little whisper.
Just a little whisper. You did an excellent job of getting through that.
Thank you. And full disclosure, because I wrote it last night in about 30 minutes. Normally when I used to get invited to give these speeches, I'll do them without notes or anything. But at 30 minutes, I was like, I just don't have time to memorize this off the top of my head. So for the Lincoln Day, if we do a Rob Kendall Lincoln Day, I will do my best to. It will be much longer, much more direct, more colorful language, a lot spicier, and I'll do it from memory and not notes.
My favorite line in the entire speech: they didn't do more with less. They're making you do with less so they can have more.
Yeah.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The things we did as kids that would emotionally destroy the kids of today.
Dodgeball in gym class. I went to Tri West. I was terrified back in the early 90s.
I was one of those guys that was throwing it as hard as I could at people.
Nonstop bullying was normal and tolerated, and teachers didn't give a crap about it. The advice was like, just try to ignore it.
Hammer and Nigel. Weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
School, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every shingle time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
98 years of quality and comfort with Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Since 1927, our family-owned store has been your trusted source for top brands like Lazy Boy, Flex Steel, Tempur-Pedic, and Smith Brothers. Hey, this is Spencer Thompson, and right now, during our 98th anniversary sale, save up to 50% off on furniture and mattresses, plus free delivery, interest-free financing, and extra discounts for cash. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Okay, so we did have some big local news, especially to our longtime Indianapolis residents. This just came down. Nancy Leonard, the wife of Indiana Pacers legend Slick Leonard, has passed away. She was 93 years old. And Slick Leonard, longtime coach of the Pacers, modern people remember him best as the color analyst for the Pacers on radio with Mark Boyle, Boom Baby. Cities are interesting in the sense that there are people who don't acquire immense power. They don't necessarily have great wealth. They're not business people to a certain extent. They become special for a variety of reasons, and they become sort of a symbolism of, or a heart of, or an ideal of the city. And in the case of Nancy Leonard, I always felt that way about her, because she was so integral in assisting Slick Leonard in not only his career arc, but also the literal saving of the Pacers in the city of Indianapolis in the late 1970s. And, I know a lot of people are familiar with this, but, look, the NBA is this financial juggernaut now. You got the teams are selling for billions of dollars, huge television deals. There was a time, not all that long ago by world history comparison, that the NBA, some teams did well, some really struggled, and especially after the Pacers came into the NBA, they really struggled financially to the point that they were worried they were either going to lose the team, like it was going to potentially fold up, or certainly it could be sold and moved. And the Leonards, Slick and Nancy, orchestrated this, it became known as Save the Pacers Telethon, and they raised enough money, sold enough tickets that they were able to not only keep the Pacers afloat, but garner enough interest in the team that it set them on an arc of sustainability, certainly until the Simons came in, bought the Pacers, and obviously with their wealth, that was not an issue going forward. But people like Nancy Leonard, like I said, they're symbolisms of the city, what we are, what we represent, not just if you love basketball, but the idea of sort of goes back to what I just did the segment before.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in something enough and you think it matters enough, you have the power oftentimes to do far more than you could ever imagine to make it happen. And for me, it's the ideals of the Republican Party and them not living up to those ideals, and that we need them to do that. In her case, it was the Indiana Pacers. The idea that we need this basketball team, not because my husband's the coach, but because it's an identity of the city, and I'm going to fight and do everything in my power to save it. And so when we lose these people, Casey, part of us goes with them. And I never met Nancy Leonard, but I certainly grew up knowing all about their story. My family are all Indiana lifer people, and I'm a Central Indiana lifer. And when you know all about somebody and the sacrifices they made, you do feel like you kind of know them. And so even when you've never met someone, a piece of you goes with them, and a piece of the city goes with them.
Well, she was definitely the matriarch of the Indiana Pacers and showed an entrepreneurial spirit in keeping them here. Her family put out a message. They extend a heartfelt thank you to all who lovingly touched Mom's life during her incredible earthly journey.
So, yeah, she was 93 years old. Slick, of course, passed away back in 2021. And it is, like I said, it is so weird because I wrote this to my daughter in her journal not that long ago. It is weird things that in the moment don't seem significant when you're younger, but as you get older, they take on a bigger role. And for me, the radio station in Brownsburg used to run the Pacers games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how weird it is. Like, that was 30 years ago, right? There wasn't this mad dash to have the Pacers on the radio like there is today. Even not that long ago, the NBA has certainly massively elevated its financial standing and media rights and et cetera. But I remember as a kid, the Brownsburg radio station aired the Pacers games. And I can remember playing countless. This was the Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, like the heyday of the 90s Pacers. And I can remember so many games, so many times, Saturday afternoon games, whatever, playing basketball in my driveway with Mark Boyle and Slick Leonard in the background, or being up in my room, having my window open, and Mark Boyle and Slick Leonard in the background. And it's like, you don't even process at the time, hey, 30 years from now, that's going to mean everything to you. And so the Leonards were such a huge part of my life, even though I never knew either one of them.
She was able to see Game 6 of the NBA Finals at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and she said, it's been a little tense, but how can you not be excited?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel when we come back.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Removing tripping hazards such as rugs and floor clutter is one way to prevent or minimize falls around the home. Another is to position grab bars in the restroom and other common areas where your loved one may need some extra support. Contact your local area agency on aging to inquire about low-cost or free installation services. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More details on the ICE facility shooting. It's cloudy and 69 in downtown Indy. The high at 75 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 10:30. At least 3 people have been shot at an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas, with multiple victims in critical condition. Police say the shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan.
As of now, we know that none of our officers have been injured. And we want to make sure that we're praying for those who have responded to the scene, as well as assisted in making sure that those who have been injured get to the hospital and get the care that they need immediately.
An individual was arrested in late August for threatening ICE officers with what the individual claimed to be a detonator on his wrist at the same ICE facility. Former Vice President Kamala Harris reflecting on her loss in the 2024 presidential election during a recent interview on ABC's The View. Harris says she believes there were multiple factors that contributed to her defeat last November, but insists the biggest one was the lack of time to campaign after former President Joe Biden stepped down. Although Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders tells Fox and Friends that Harris lost because the American people didn't support her platform.
She brought nothing forward for the American people to say, you know what, that's exactly what I want to see in the White House. They'd experienced it. They didn't want it. They did want President Trump, and it's why he had a historic comeback victory to regain the White House.
And Jimmy Kimmel returning to late night after being suspended for his comments regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Fox's Brian Yennis reporting.
Jimmy Kimmel giving that emotional but defiant opening monologue last night after he was suspended for suggesting Charlie Kirk's assassin was affiliated with MAGA.
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make.
But the spokesman for Kirk's Turning Point USA organization is responding, quote, not good enough, Jimmy. It's simple. Here's what you need to say. I'm sorry for saying the shooter was MAGA. He was not. He was of the left. I apologize for the Kirk family for lying. Please accept my sincere apology. I will do better. I was wrong.
Next Star and Sinclair ABC affiliates are continuing to refuse airing Jimmy Kimmel Live following the host's comments from last week. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joiner Homes is ready to make your dream come true.
Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey guys, it's Rob for our friend Mark Dietel. You know, Zillow ranks Indianapolis #2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietel. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Dan and Casey in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. It's time to downsize, and we needed to sell our old house quickly at full value. Mark Dietel made it happen. We got our asking price in a few weeks without any repairs or an appraisal. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
Trust our family to take care of your family. Call us today for our family maintenance plan at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Yeah, I don't believe him.
Don't you believe it? Remember that from the old Tom and Jerry cartoon? Same thing. Same thing here. Don't you believe it?
I don't believe Jimmy Kimmel at all. I don't believe he's sorry at all. I don't believe the crocodile tears.
Nope.
I don't believe any of it.
Yeah, no. So he returned to the air last night after his show was preempted for nearly a week. Suspension following his comments after the killing of Charlie Kirk, and ABC deemed them ill-timed and insensitive. But yeah, he had some things to say. Let's take a listen.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Okay, that's where he's lying to you right there, because this is what he said. The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. And then he just said, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. He's just contradicting himself right there. He's completely lying.
But of course he is. But what's the? How often do we talk about with these politicians? How many times do we catch them like in irrefutable lies, irrefutable just contradictions of things they previously said? Heck, they do it on our show, and they're never held to any account. So why would anybody hold Jimmy Kimmel to account? Of course he's lying. Of course he did it. Of course he said something horrendous. Now, look, that is the thing I have the problem with. The stuff he said about Trump, I don't think joking, I don't think it was the right time to tell jokes, but that, different people can debate that. I think he was pointing out sort of some of the ridiculous behavior from Trump which is that he claims, I was so close to Charlie Kirk and this, and then he's talking about the ballroom and he's going to the Yankees game and all these other things. I think while I wouldn't have done it, I don't think it's a time for joking, period. Pointing out the hypocrisy of politicians or something a politician is doing that is in bad taste, or I don't have any problem with that. But the fact that he did say, without a doubt, that this dude was a Trump, implied this guy was a Trump supporter or MAGA member or whatever, that was totally gross and disgusting, and there was zero place for it, and wrong.
So where was he when Tucker was let go or Roseanne was banned? And just yesterday, the story came out about the Biden administration making a deal with YouTube for the suppression of speech. The Biden administration using Google and Facebook and Twitter and everybody to silence conservatives. Where was he fighting then? He did the 17-minute monologue, and he positioned it that he was fighting for freedom of speech. To me, it was self-serving. He was fighting for himself. And he even said throughout the monologue, the other side, showing clearly he's just an arm of the Democrat Party.
Right, which is fine. ABC can put on whoever they want to put on. But then there are ramifications for doing that. But it's also, you got to be a professional. Like, there's things that I come in here every day and I am so tempted to say, and I go, nope, can't say that. I can say it sometimes in another way. And then sometimes there's things I just can't figure out a way to say that wouldn't get me in trouble with my employer because I know they might potentially get pushback or grief or whatever that they don't want. That's part of being a professional in this business, is knowing where the line is, knowing what's appropriate and what's not, what's acceptable and what's not. And in this case, Jimmy Kimmel said something that is ridiculous about this guy being some sort of, Trump supporter, whatever, which is just facts incorrect. And he shows he's not sorry at all based on the fact that he came out and lied about it. Right out of the gate, he just lied. And he knows everybody can look it up. He knows everybody will, but he knows nothing will happen to him. Other than, and this is what's interesting, did both Sinclair and Nexstar say, we're not airing him still?
Correct.
Okay, so it's basically 60 of your affiliates, including Hammer and Nigel said this yesterday, because we were talking about, hey, how big are these? Like, is this, Dubuque, Iowa, or is this New York City? And they said 12 of the top 50 markets are affected by this ban. And they made a great point, Hammer and Nigel did. If you're an advertiser and you're saying 60 TV stations aren't airing me now, including 12 of the top 50 markets, I'm not paying for this.
Right. Or at least you're getting a rate cut.
Because how could you possibly say that's fair if you're not getting, what you paid for?
I've got a personal Jimmy Kimmel story.
Oh, you know Jimmy Kimmel?
I don't know him, but he did bully me once.
That's right.
Yeah, no, let me put it to you this way. Consider this. Jimmy, and we've heard he has hundreds of people on his staff. So when they suspended Jimmy Kimmel, they also suspended all of these people, right? Hundreds of people on his staff, dozens of writers, correct? When I was hosting a daily television show in South Bend, Indiana, it was me and one other guy, cameraman, Tony Beltran. I wrote, produced, and hosted the show myself.
By yourself?
By myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Jimmy Kimmel, who is sitting in Market 2 in L.A., took a clip of my show and made fun of me and put it out to the nation. To me, that's a bully. He had dozens of writers, and the best he could do was pluck a clip from a TV show in Market 200.
What'd you do?
It was Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I talked like a pirate.
Okay, so I'm very curious. Okay, I'm fascinated by this. Did this offend you because he didn't ask you to use the content?
He did not ask me to use it.
Okay. So it's that he didn't ask to use your content.
It's the fact that he's employing all of these writers, and the best that they could do was make fun of someone else. Write something yourself.
So, like,
that's bullying.
Didn't Letterman used to do that too, where he would find different TV shows or stations? Was it Letterman or Leno? I thought one of those guys used to. I have to ask. We know somebody who used to obviously work for Letterman. Have to ask him.
But he had hundreds of employees, and I had 2.
Yeah.
It was me and one other guy. And, you've heard how...
Did you contact him?
No. No, moved on. Didn't care. But you've heard how, he has 126,000 viewers a night on his show.
That's it?
We get 50,000 a day on a radio show in one market.
Wait. Surely he has more than 126,000 people. They're paying that amount of money for a show with 126,000. Is that just on the TV, or is it across viewing, or like?
That's what's being reported. 126,000.
Holy smokes! How could they possibly There has to be in a country of 330 million people. Now again, it's
more than that.
And again, it's night. But that I'm not saying because I heard somebody else say that too, and I thought that had to be a misprint. But now you're saying you've seen it somewhere as well.
I've seen that as well. So
holy smokes!
And I was working for Sinclair at the time, Sinclair Broadcast Group. So I think they did the right thing in this situation. The second best thing they ever did.
Hire you?
Yeah.
Other than hire you?
That was the first thing.
No. See, this is what I'm saying. This may be in a demo. See, this is saying Jimmy Kimmel had 1.77 million total viewers in quarter two.
Is 126 in one market or just from the affiliates?
Yeah, and I'm not blaming you because I've heard other people say it was like he's bad, but like that's not. There's a drop. Okay, so this is what the Google search is saying.
Mm-hmm.
He has 1.77 million total viewers in quarter two, which I would believe. It's a drop from 2.4 million viewers in 2015.
With 129,000 in the 18 to 49 demo.
Yeah, okay. So that I would buy that. That makes, and I wasn't trying to go at you. I'd heard other people say that too, and I was like, that can't, even as bad as he is, that can't be right. But again, if you're an advertiser,
mm-hmm.
and that's all he's pulling in to begin with, and now you've cut off a sizable portion of that.
60 affiliates.
How are you staying with that in any shape, form, or fashion? I don't know. Is Hammer here today?
I believe so.
Okay.
He's joining us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett will join us. We've got Heart tickets to give away. Let's have a day. 93 WIBC.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate the paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Has your house become a burden? Why not sell it to us? Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to assist people in difficult situations. Simple Quarters has helped over 3,000 families sell their homes in Indiana.
Wanda's been in real estate. I've been in construction, so she would find properties that we could fix up and resell or rent.
Probably we've flipped about 40 houses. I don't want to do it anymore. Health is not good. We're in our early 80s. Sometimes you have to give it up.
James, he did a good job. James was very cordial and, like I say, responded to our phone calls and then kept in contact with us. So he did a good job.
When I got the purchase agreement, and he did have things in there that was pertinent to me. It's important.
Yeah, James followed through on what he said. Did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Other companies make broken promises, but at Simple Quarters, we keep our word. Sell your home to people you can trust. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. 317-900-HOME.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Blow sediment and gunk out of your well, plus a 6-point inspection and 30% off all of it. Wow. C&J, great systems, great people, 317-852-WELL.
Head online to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 4th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Hello, my name is Nate Clancy. I'm with Labor's Local 120. I've been with Labor's Local 120 for over 40 years now.
For members of Labor's International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community, like helping the Soapbox Derby.
We painted the bridge. The Wilbershaw Bridge is an iconic bridge for the Soapbox Derby. It's been there forever. It was, needing work.
When Indy or surrounding communities need help, LIUNA steps up.
Members that went over there, we seen that it was needing work, power washed, done the painting, just anything that was needed, and it looks amazing now.
This is Chris Brickey, business manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Here at the local, I like volunteering in the community. Just every little bit helps. I really got a real joy in doing that.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
Okay, Hammer, you're with me, right? We need clarification on the segment we just did because I don't understand why you're upset that you got national television publicity. So it's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Hammer is here. Are you with me on this? Like you were featured on Jimmy Kimmel once, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Yeah. They showed like a montage of like local news anchors and TV hosts around the country just being fun, going, "Arr, me, that's National Talk Like a Pirate." We did it the other day a little bit.
Right, and you had Allison read some stuff.
The Constitution.
Right, which was great. You're on TV. He wasn't making fun of you like you're an idiot. He was like, all these people are doing this.
No, he kind of was. He totally was. He was like, look at these news anchors who are...
But you were talking like a pirate.
But I was hosting a lifestyle show, and the montage was full of news anchors.
Right. But you did it on television, which tells me you wanted people to see it. Now more people saw it because of Jimmy Kimmel, and you're mad?
Yeah, well, it was the way he was making fun of it.
You were talking like a pirate.
That's true.
But if you were up there delivering a eulogy for the Pope, okay, that would be different. But you were talking like a pirate. You were being wacky. You did a great job at it, by the way.
Thank you.
You came off very likable. You looked great. Jimmy Kimmel was put you in the montage.
He was picking the best of the best.
Probably because you were hot. Yeah, it was probably like, look at this hot chick. She's talking like a pirate. Put her on there. Cool. I don't think he was making fun of you like you're an idiot. I think he was like, all these people are being wacky. Let's showcase them.
Well, he prefaced it kind of like, this is what your news anchors are doing. They're ridiculous.
But you were doing it.
I know I was doing it.
And it is ridiculous.
But
that was the thing,
though. It's fine.
Guys, my point was, he's sitting in L.A. with hundreds of people on his staff, market number 2, and I was in market 200 with me and one other guy.
He thought you were good. So you should want that.
We play a clip of a weatherman in southern Indiana farting on the air. Based on your logic, I shouldn't do that because I'm in a bigger market. No, a funny clip will be a funny clip.
You've got more resources to work with. If he's got all of these writers...
So I'm the bad guy now.
No. Why doesn't he rely on them to produce the comedy rather than plucking it from other markets?
Maybe they did pluck the comedy from another market. I mean, funny news anchor stuff is a staple of comedy for years. Right?
I've never seen somebody, unless it was the Boom Goes the Dynamite guy or whatever, a local television person getting on national TV in a group of other people too. It wasn't like he identified you by name or whatever. Isn't that the goal, is to elevate? And they thought enough of you like this funny or whatever that, like, if Rush Limbaugh had played, I'm trying to just think of something comparable, and I'm sure
that's just it. It wasn't Rush Limbaugh. It was Jimmy Kimmel.
He's on TV. You're on TV.
Nationally. You did it on television, which tells me you wanted people to see it. Jimmy Kimmel put you on national television, and now you're butthurt by it.
Why? What's your problem? What's wrong with you? You're looking for a reason to be offended by Jimmy Kimmel. Now, look, there's a lot of reasons to crap all over Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's one of them.
That's not one of them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
What about what he said about Charlie Kirk?
That's a reason.
Okay. That we can agree on.
Okay.
Don't showcase me on national television. I don't want any part of that.
How dare you
Not on
take
Jimmy
my
Kimmel's
monologue
show.
and put it in front of millions?
Not on Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Okay. All right. Hey, we have a new podcast out, by the way.
Man, it's a big weekend of college football.
For golf.
You tried to tell me that the Ryder Cup's bigger than the Masters.
It is!
And it makes you look ridiculous.
Oh, because you know golf better than me.
I know public better than you.
You're much more in touch. For golf people, I think the Ryder Cup, because it's every 2 years and it's for your country. Now, I'm betting against my country.
Right.
But for most people, it's for their country.
Olympic basketball happens once every 4 years. It's not bigger than March Madness or the NBA Finals.
Not anymore. You don't think the Dream Team was? You don't think like the Dream Team was a bigger deal than whatever the NBA Finals was? The Bulls?
Not
probably.
anymore.
No, but the Ryder Cup has grown in popularity.
It's not bigger than the Masters. So you're going to wake up on Sunday and you're going to tell me more people in this country in 2025 are going to be like, boy, I'm so excited for the Ryder Cup today. This is way better than waking up on final Sunday of the Masters.
I said to golf people. See, this is what happens. People intrude in my territory. It's just like at the Walmart.
The problem is you're a moron. And usually people placate you. I don't put up with your bull crap.
This is the same thing that happened at the Walmart pre-COVID, where I was like, okay, I'm poor. I'm going to buy the Walmart brand. You rich people can buy the name brands. Just stay out of my way and I'll buy the cheap stuff. Then during COVID, because people couldn't get their stuff, they invaded my territory and the prices went up of the off brand, and then I couldn't get it when we had a deal. It's the same thing with people like you. You're not a golf person. I am. Stay out of my lane. Now you come in during the Masters. Oh, I'm Mr. Golf Expert. I'll tell you what the biggest event in golf is.
Are you done talking? Are you done yelling? This is why you don't get invited to places. People hate you. I could go on Monument Circle right now and say, do you consider yourself a golf fan? I could do that for 100 people and say, what's a bigger deal? Final Sunday of the Masters or the Ryder Cup Sunday? And more people will say the Masters, and you know I'm right. You can yell all you want. Your little hair plugs can fall out, but you know that I'm right.
You know, this is why I hate doing the show with you. And this is why I took the same games as you and the same bets, so that we're going to lose together. Because I know I'm going down, and I want to see you win your bets.
Yeah, we don't tell each other the picks that we have before the show. So if we sit down and have the same pick, we're just like, God, that sucks. Twice this year, we've had the same play, and we're 0-2. And in the college game this weekend, we're both on the same play.
Somebody once told me this years ago when I was in the government, and they said, and they were right. They said, Rob, you know what the problem with you is? I could put $20 on the table, and I'd say, you get free 10 free dollars, and I get 10 free dollars, and you would reject it and be mad because you don't want me getting $10. And I said, that's right. I am that spiteful. That's who I am.
Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're right. You're the type of dude that would walk out on Monument Circle, there are monkeys flying in the sky! And I could simply say, no, there's not. Oh, you're a monkey expert now? No, you're a lunatic. You're a very petty, vindictive, lunatic man.
You would miss me if I was gone.
Do I get to speak at the Lincoln Night dinner if it happens?
You're the MC.
Yeah,
always.
You would be. Look, Hammer did a phenomenal job.
Man. He is the hype man.
At the property tax rally, there was nobody better than you. So we have a little. Actually, we have a little show meeting after we get done today. We're going to pitch this out there, see if they're interested in doing it here. If not, we'll probably do it on our own. But yeah, I think people seem to really want this, and so maybe I'll need to issue a thank you to the Hitters County Republicans for banning me.
This is very close to what like Charlie Sheen was doing years ago, his torpedo of truth tour.
What are you doing this afternoon, other than yelling about me?
We're going to talk about Nancy Leonard. You guys did a great tribute earlier. She meant a lot to the city, to the Pacers. We'll talk about that. Tony Kennett will join us. Biggest stories of the day.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, you'll find a team of experts on your side, all working closely to give you the guidance and support you need.
Everyone knew what every other doctor was doing. I didn't have to go to 3 different meetings. I didn't have to talk to them individually. You knew right there in the room. They came up with a plan together.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Look around. Your home could probably use some updates, but you don't have a lot of extra cash floating around at the moment, right? Don't replace, refinish with Miracle Method. From countertops to vanities, tubs, showers, and more, they'll create a custom solution to give you a brand new look while saving you up to half off the cost of replacement. Metal, ceramic, fiberglass, and more. They've got you covered. Call 317-202-1305 or go to miraclemethod.com/Indianapolis to schedule your free in-home estimate today.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Central Indiana knows tough, but your water shouldn't be. Indiana ranks among the hardest water in the country, and your home is paying the price. Connecticut's non-electric technology means no timer, settings, or headaches, just water that works, even when the power doesn't. And the twin tank design means clean, soft water 24/7. Connecticut water softeners are the solution, made in the U.S. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com and mention Made in the U.S. for an additional $250 off your purchase of a softener. Connecticut, American-made, Midwest tough.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, who the governor is looking at to fill spots on a state utility commission. The proposal from the lieutenant governor on how to honor Charlie Kirk in the state of Indiana. Reaction from the family in the sentencing of a Fort Wayne man in a fatal stabbing. And the takeaways from the Fever's Game 2 loss to Las Vegas. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. It's now 2 dead in a shooting outside an immigration enforcement facility in Dallas, Texas. I'm Dave Anthony. It came from a rooftop.
The shooter was at a building next to this ICE processing center, and sources tell us that the shooter shot at 3 detainees near the Sally Port. The gunman then turned the gun on himself.
He's dead. Fox's Brooke Taylor in the rain near that scene also reports
that 2 of these detainees were also killed. Sources say that there were no ICE agents that were hurt or shot.
We don't know a motive yet, but there have been a lot of protests against immigration raids. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin tells Fox.
The rhetoric around our law enforcement, particularly ICE, the dehumanization, the demonization, has spun so far out of control.
We just got reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's return last night from a spokesman for Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA. Andrew Colvett just told Fox.
All he had to do was say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, I will do better. Instead, he was defiant. He parsed his words. He tried to thread a needle and play both sides. And that's not how we get healing in this country.
Jimmy Kimmel did get emotional, saying he never intended to make light of murder.
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Now, Disney suspended Kimmel last week for suggesting the alleged assassin was right-wing MAGA. Kimmel also spoke out for free speech and thanked conservatives he disagrees with for being critical of him being taken off the air. Now to the UN. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky just addressed the General Assembly.
People are still dying every week. Yet, there is no ceasefire because Russia refuses.
And he's urging the UN to take action, with Zelensky warning Russia wants to expand the war. This after a Trump Truth Social post called Russia a paper tiger. The president suggested he thinks Ukraine, with European help, can win back all the territory Russia's taken. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Announcing her passing. It's mostly cloudy, 70 on Monument Circle, a high of 75 for today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending now at 11:02. Nancy Leonard, the wife of Pacers Hall of Fame coach Bobby Slick Leonard, has passed away at the age of 93. The family announced her passing in a statement released this morning. Nancy was seen at multiple Pacers games this past season. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is encouraging qualified individuals to apply for open positions on the state's Utility Regulatory Commission. The IURC is a state government agency that makes decisions in the interest of the public, ensuring the utilities provide safe, reliable, and affordable service.
Together, we will ensure that energy progress doesn't come at the expense of Hoosier ratepayers' ability to afford their energy bills.
While at the State House Tuesday, the governor announced his 3 selections to a nominating committee that will review applications and make recommendations on who could fill the positions on the commission. This as utility companies, including AES, have requested a rate increase. Indiana's lieutenant governor is proposing a symbolic tribute to Charlie Kirk. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
Micah Beckwith says he's exploring the idea of naming a pedestrian bridge after Charlie Kirk, the late political activist who was assassinated in Utah a couple of weeks ago.
Charlie had a soft spot in his heart for Indiana. Many people don't know this, but Charlie set up his legal enterprise of TPUSA in Indiana.
Beckwith calls Kirk a coalition builder and says a bridge would reflect his legacy of connecting people, even those he disagreed with. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Federal prosecutors are highlighting a guilty verdict in the first illegal reentry case to be decided by a jury in over a decade in Indiana. Gilberto Hernandez Sanchez was found guilty of the crime after having been removed from the United States multiple times. The conviction, part of a nationwide initiative to prosecute illegal re-entry. Police say Jermard Lewis of Fort Wayne had stabbed and killed a Kroger employee in Waynedale named Perla Nieto on December 7th of 2023. On Tuesday, he was sentenced to 65 years in prison. Lewis's attorney said he has pathological narcissistic personality disorder, but Gohl, the judge in the case, said she wasn't about to give him a lighter sentence because he wasn't getting the proper treatment for his disorder. And the series is now tied at 1 as the Fever dropped Game 2 to the Aces in Las Vegas last night, 90-68. Game 3 is Friday night in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So Trump went to the UN yesterday.
Spoke on the 80th anniversary of the United Nations.
What is the purpose of the UN now? Like, what does it actually do? Like, I get that the UN was created in a post-World War II world to say, hey, if we're all united, then hopefully we're going to stop, future madmen, lunatics, Hitler-type people from marching across the world. That, hey, if we as a group of people who profess to care about freedom and liberty and decency for our citizens, regardless of our politics, that if we care about that, that in a united front, if we say if one of us gets, taken down or taken at, you're messing with all of us, that will hopefully prohibit this sort of thing from happening ever again. However, my question today is, what does the UN actually do, and what purpose does it actually serve?
That's the same thing Donald Trump asked.
Oh, great. I'm not
during
alone.
his nearly hour-long speech he questioned the value of the UN. He said the same thing. What is the purpose of the United Nations? At this point, it seems like it's a free trip to New York for the delegates.
Well, basically it is, and it's come out how much we being the United States of America, pay to keep this operation afloat, certainly compared to other organizations, or other countries, rather, that aren't paying or pulling their fair share. And how many times has the United States basically had to go it alone on something, and the rest of the world was like, well, good luck with that. Well, thanks. We'll see you later. I don't have an answer for you, Casey. I wish I did. I've just seen too many times where it appears certainly corruption. How many of these leaders and people in charge or quasi in charge of the UN have we seen under, corruption clouds or allegations or whatever? And then in terms of actual action itself, you just don't see a lot, certainly from the money you put into it.
Well, it didn't start off very well because right when Donald Trump got there, the escalator broke. And then when he started to speak, the teleprompter went down. I've seen it reported that the teleprompter was operated by somebody from the White House. And I've also seen a report that somebody jokingly said we should stop the escalator when Trump gets here. And that's now being investigated, I believe, by the Secret Service. But Donald Trump, he was upset about the teleprompter not working, and he even commented about it.
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much.
Good for him. Look, I mean, what are the accomplishments of the United Nations? This is how you look at any government, any tax dollar investment. It should be the way you would run a company. Here's the amount of money we've put into the thing. Here's what we've gotten as a result. Does this seem like a worthwhile use of our resources? And I think you would struggle to justify it if you did it in that fashion and laid it out to the American people.
People were saying different things, that good for him. The teleprompter went down, and he just went up there and riffed for an hour. It was the longest UN speech by a U.S. president ever. And then there's, of course, the other side saying he sounded absolutely ridiculous because he was going off his talking points. Doesn't he always do that, though? Even when the teleprompter is working, he goes off point. He did touch on a lot of different subjects. He was very critical of green energy and climate change.
If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail.
How do you think braggadocious translates? Because many of those people are using headsets to translate into their language.
Yeah. Look, I just think, I think at this point, if you've been at this thing for, what has it been now, 80 years, right? Is that how long the UN's been around? And it is what it is, and it's a group of world leaders, many of them from horribly corrupt, underhanded countries that are allowed into this thing, and they're making decisions based on their best financial interest or their own personal interest, not safety and stability and security of the world or accountability to other maniacal, tyrannical governments or keeping them in check. I don't know. I don't see much point in being involved, but clearly the United States still remains an active and integral part of it, at least for now.
He accused the UN of being ineffective. He said all they seem to do is write a strongly worded letter and then never follow up. Claimed the UN offered no help during the ceasefire efforts between Gaza and also Ukraine. He mentioned on immigration, he was talking mostly, I believe, to the countries in Europe that they were going to go to hell because of their open borders.
You have to end it now, Sid, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration.
I'm really good at this stuff. You all suck. You're rotten, horrible. Have I told you about Ted? Ted died.
One thing that came out of yesterday, though, after he met with Vladimir Zelensky, he said Ukraine can win back all of its territory in its original form. Major shift from his earlier comments where he was talking about land swaps. So what changed his mind?
Well, Putin didn't do what he wanted, and that's sort of how Trump operates, right? I mean, the problem is, like, what's your... Trump took a very clear position on this. He did it during the campaign, and then he obviously took it once he got in office, which is Ukraine is an annoying little gnat, and we're done dealing with you and sending all this money to you, which is fine. The problem, though, is once you take that position without a clear concession from the other side, Putin's going to be like, well, great, we're done here. Thank you, goodbye. And now Putin, I don't know why Trump thought if he was going to announce that publicly that Putin was going to do any sort of concessions because he knows Ukraine can't defeat him on their own, certainly not if the U.S. isn't actively involved in the whole thing. He knows those other European countries aren't going to step up in any sort of substance and help them. My point on the Ukraine thing has always been, I don't think they're our friend to begin with. I don't think they like us. I think we have way more vested interest in getting along with the Russians than we do the Ukrainians, from everything from economics to energy to terrorism. I just don't. I've never seen Ukraine. I'm not saying Russia's good. I'm just saying if both sides are bad and one side we have more of a vested interest in having a relationship with than the other, and it's going to make my life easier and our country's life easier, I say go with them. It's not like we're dealing with holy rollers on the Ukrainian side. They're all bad, and I just have never understood that amount of vested interest in the Ukraine. But from a Trump position, the moment you declared Zelensky. That was another person in the White House for a while. Go squish. Well, what did you think Putin was going to do?
So when it comes to Trump, you have to consider this is just another new negotiating tactic. He's just trying the same thing from a different angle, right? He said he was going to end this war after 24 hours. That hasn't happened. So let's redirect and try something else. He has repeatedly called for Europe to stop buying Russian oil and gas.
But why would they do that? They don't play by the same rules we do. That's what I'm saying about the UN. It's like they don't
until they need something
well,
from
right.
us.
They're not gonna do what you say, because we're the only people who always seem to have some sort of moral obligation to do what's right. Everybody else is like, no, we're gonna do what we want. Oh, we're in this group. Well, whatever.
Did you see the video of the French president Macron getting stuck in traffic?
No, he wasn't able to. I try to avoid all things UN, Casey. In fact, this is the first time I've been exposed to the UN in a long time, because they're just exhausting. But he wasn't able to make it.
Well, he got, the road was blocked off for security purposes, so he actually called Donald Trump. And
how does that?
Donald Trump was like, "Well, I guess walk."
Don't they? I mean, don't they have those guys
around.
have like the flags and stuff? Like, don't they have some sort of light or something that says "important UN guy" on the car? And you can roll down the window. It's not like you can't say, "I don't believe you." Like, don't they have a picture of the guy that they can size it up with and be like, "Okay, yeah, I guess that is the the head of the French government. We should probably should let him through."
Let him go. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com.
Tee up for a great cause at the annual MASH Golf Outing. Practice your swing for the event October 7th at Woodwind Golf Club in Westfield, and you'll not only have a great time, you'll be helping first responders and veterans overcome PTS. With a silent auction, swag bags for everyone who participates, fun on the links, and more. Arrive by 9:30 for registration. Play begins at 10:30 and awards at 4:30. That's October 7th at Woodwind Golf Club in Westfield. Go to mashministries.org for more details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
I hate to do this, but I feel like I got to agree with Todd Rokita on something.
Okay.
Todd Rokita is the Attorney General for the state of Indiana. And he came out, Capital Chronicle, other publications have an article about this, and basically said, hey, there is legal precedent. If you're a school system and you've got these teachers celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, you got the precedent to fire them, to get rid of them, suspend them, whatever you want to do. You're in good legal footing if you want to do that.
Yeah, he sent out a 6-page memo to school superintendents and also university administrators, and he said you've got the legal authority to punish educators for divisive or offensive political speech. They've got morality clauses, right?
Well, that's right. So any almost all I assume all teachers still do, but part of your contract with whatever school district you work for is a morality clause, right? And government workers collectively usually have this. Now that sounds laughable, right? But some of the behavior we see from government people, employees, whatever, and it's not just government. A lot of corporations, whatever, have these things in contracts where, hey, if you do anything to embarrass this company, this entity, whatever, we have the right, based on your own behavior, to throw you out of here. And basically what the Attorney General is saying is, hey, celebrating the death of an innocent person who did nothing wrong. This is not doing a cheer when they announce we got Osama bin Laden, the guy who blew up the Twin Towers. This is an innocent human who did nothing wrong, who preached peace, who preached civility, who the whole basically, premise of his existence was I go places and have hard conversations with many people who don't like me, and I do it in a polite and nice manner. And cheering that death as an educator who is in charge of children certainly could be viewed as a violation of your morality clause or the standards you're held to as a public servant, and you're on grounds to get rid of these people.
Yeah, he said even if the posts are made in a personal capacity, they could be vulgar and disruptive. And he said that they could legally terminate a teacher if it has a crass tone or if there's community backlash, disruption, or, and this is the biggie, we've heard about this before, loss of trust.
Right. And you know what's interesting to me? Like, we hear the excuses now all the time are in my personal capacity.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no, there is an extent of, like, if you're a government employee, some people may need to hear this more than others, but if you're a government employee and you want to be involved in politics, you can do that on your own time, not while you're working in
on state time
or in the state, or supposed to be in the state house or whatever. You can go to a political event in the evening and there's no problem with that. But this idea of personal pages, accounts, whatever, if the world can see it, you're always a reflection of your employer. It's the reason that even though I could use much crasser language than I use on this radio program, I always try to use the same tone and tenor that I do here. It doesn't make me any less feisty on social media, but I'm always aware of, hey, if you're putting it on the internet, you are being judged, or you're subject to being judged and subject to the scrutiny and potential discipline of your employer because you are a representative of that. When people think of Rob Kendall or Casey Daniels, they think of WIBC,
sure,
which they think of Urban One. And Urban One gives us a lot of leeway on things we want to say on here. And I've just always tried to take that approach, for the most part, to the internet, not being any less direct with people, but just not using language any different than I would use here. And the same thing is true if you're a teacher. Like, just because you did it on your personal page and do it in the classroom, kids can still see it. Kids can still consume it. You are giving an insight into your worldview, which if you are celebrating the death of an innocent person, you have no business educating children or being in charge of children.
So Rokita claims that there's a balancing test that applies. It's the school's interest as an employer versus the teacher's free speech rights. If you just are adamant and you have to put something out there on social media for your community to know where you stand, set it on private, perhaps. That way it's not,
but it's still going to get out,
viewed by everybody.
Somebody's still gonna see it, right? I mean, it still could be shared. It still could be screenshot,
yeah,
and shared. If you look, the internet is not private. What you do on the internet, what you post on the internet,
for public consumption,
can be consumed by the public, especially, like, look, if you're some guy, and I'm not in any way trying to, like, degrade or anybody, but if you're a local, whatever, work at the local convenience store, okay? And I'm not in no way trying to, say these people are bad or not contributing to society or whatever. But you're not going to be you're not in the same public eye as someone who is of stature in the community that a teacher would be. Because people know the teacher. They know the teacher is in charge of kids.
They know the teacher has influence over young minds.
So, yeah, you could post something as the guy who works at the convenience store, girl who works at the convenience store, and even if it's the same level of disgusting, you're probably going to get away with it because nobody's worried when you're ringing up the sodas and the candy bars about what your view of Charlie Kirk was. But if you're a teacher and educator, absolutely people are going to know about it, and you are going to be judged, and you're going to be held to a higher standard.
Do you have a morality clause? You probably do.
Probably.
Most contracts do. You don't know word for word. But isn't it interesting, though, that our legislators, do they have a morality clause?
Well,
because there are many that say, by the way, if you get pulled over for DUI, you're out of here.
It's the elections, right? But the problem is these guys have written the laws to exempt themselves.
Yeah.
Those guys have written the laws so that they aren't held to account on this. I'm sure I do. My thing has always been, I just try to take the same persona and same standard of this radio show and put it on the internet. Like, that's what I'm willing to put on the internet. I am pretty good at knowing where the line is. And that's just, you have to have self-control. And that's like, what would I say when I post something on the internet? I always try to think, if David Wood, our boss, or Dion were his boss, or Andrea, were standing right in front of us, what would they say? I don't think I ever post anything on the internet that they would be like, I am so surprised or appalled that you posted that. They know what they get when they employ Rob Kendall. There's not like, oh, he was mean to a politician. He called some guy a dope or an idiot.
Shocker.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't have to worry about me on here swearing or doing anything that's going to get them in trouble with or using words that get them in trouble with the Federal Communications Commission, or they're not going to have to worry about that on the internet either. I hate these people as much there as I do here. You just got to know. And the same thing as a teacher. You have to know and use some restraint, because what you're telling people, if you can't use restraint on the internet, how can you use it in the classroom?
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line. It's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, save on new Toyota trucks with low APR financing, including 2025 Tacomas with 3.99%, or Tundras, just 1.75 APR for 72 months.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag title license, 249 dealer doc. Tacoma monthly payment for 60 months, 1841, and Tundra 1464 per thousand financed. Expires 9/30.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An icon with the Pacers has passed. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30, brought to you by Moss Roofing. The family of Nancy Leonard says she has passed away at the age of 93. Nancy, the wife of the late great Pacers Hall of Fame coach Bobby Slick Leonard. Nancy was seen at multiple Pacers games this past season. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is looking to add qualified individuals to the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission.
Our state must have reliable utilities without overwhelming Hoosier families with skyrocketing rates.
He made that announcement Tuesday at the State House. The commission will be looking at rate hike requests next spring. Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is wanting to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk by naming a pedestrian bridge in the state after him. And Mexican national Gilberto Hernandez Sanchez is found guilty of illegal re-entry into the United States in the first case of its kind in Indiana to be decided by a jury in over a decade. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, with the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, a lot of young people are more open to the idea of faith than ever before. And that's why Life Church would like to invite, if you have a young person in your house, grades 6 through 12, Life Church would like to invite you to their Next Gen Team 4th Annual Truth Conference. It has 3 main sessions, live worship and breakout sessions where they can ask tough questions about God, the Bible, culture, and relationships. Also going to have great food, amazing prizes, fun games, and a free arcade and coffee bar. It's the 4th Annual Truth Conference for grades 6 through 12. Learn more about everything and register online, lifechurchin.com.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft in a breach or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joyce House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Removing tripping hazards such as rugs and floor clutter is one way to prevent or minimize falls around the home. Another is to position grab bars in the restroom and other common areas where your loved one may need some extra support. Contact your local area agency on aging to inquire about low-cost or free installation services. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joyce House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Friendly reminder to change your filter. Head on over to our website at familyhvac.net for some of the best pricing on filters around.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Another sheriff is in trouble related to misusing money from the commissary.
Here we go again.
Okay, so let's reset why this is interesting. Now, this is Clinton County, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is interesting because many of you longtime listeners will know that Mike Braun's close political ally and friend, Tom Kleinhelter, is the sheriff of DuBois County, Mike Braun's home county. He was facing an 80-page probable cause affidavit from the Indiana State Police for allegedly misusing money from the commissary. So the commissary is the money that people in the jail will pay in for various food, snacks, various items. And then that money is controlled by the sheriff. And in most cases, there is a check and balance reporting mechanism to the county. I believe it's the county commissioners. And in the case of Tom Kleinhelter, he was allegedly paying for like flights for his wife to various conferences that she had, nothing to do with for the government. It was allegedly just a horrible misuse of public money. And then all of a sudden, Braun becomes governor. Mm-hmm. New state police superintendent comes in, and the charges magically go away. Mm-hmm. This guy in Clinton County, I guess we can say, we don't have to say allegedly anymore because the court has ruled against them. The Clinton County sheriff,
Richard Kelly and his wife Ashley, and their company.
Yeah.
There was a summary judgment granted against them.
Said, hold my beer. Mm-hmm. And they're saying he misappropriated $329,000.
Right.
That's a hell of a lot of money, Casey.
Yeah. $219,000 of it came directly from the jail commissary funds. So what's a summary judgment?
So summary judgment is essentially when the facts of the case are not in dispute. There is no need for a trial. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. You did or said the thing. There's no dispute about what happened. Okay, now we ask the judge to rule in our favor. And in this case, it looks like there wasn't really much dispute about what was going on.
Right. Looks like they used their company. A company that they solely owned to manage the commissary operations.
Yeah, this is pretty brazen behavior. They created an LLC.
Took a little dip.
Yeah, well, it was a
big dip.
When you're in the hundreds of thousands, Case, that ain't a little dip. That's a big dip. So it should, hopefully, in light of Jamie Knoll, the horribly corrupt former sheriff of Clark County, who's now in prison. You've got Kleinhelter, who, thanks to his buddy getting elected governor, was able to escape an 80-page probable cause affidavit. He should probably be incarcerated somewhere. And now this guy, we got to take a major look at how these sheriffs are operating, especially in light of Kleinhelter and this guy with the allegations being the misuse of money from the commissary, the oversight on this, and how these guys are be able to pull this off.
Did you see there was an update in the Jamie Knoll case? The judge ordered him to pay back the $918,000 in damages to the state of Indiana.
Oh, well, I'm sure he'll get right on that from his prison cell. But again, by the way, Casey, trivia question. Who is the only person in the county who can arrest the sheriff?
Oh, gosh. We had this the other day. What was it? Was it the coroner?
It is. I'm very impressed. The coroner is the only person in the county who can arrest the sheriff. So, look, and I've said this for a long time. And, local governments are very easy to manipulate and take advantage of because a lot of the people are lazy and don't read. I'm saying the elected people. They don't read their claims. They don't read the finances. If they do read them, they don't know how to process it. It's why our local governments are in the shape they're in, which no matter how much money they get, it's never enough money. And so in this case, especially like stuff with the commissary, you got to be all over this sort of stuff. You got to be reading these claims. You got to be sifting through them. And I think some of these sheriffs have kind of figured out, hey, it's the land where it's just giant pots of gold at the end of every rainbow. And I think the government is going to really, the state of Indiana is really going to have to take a look at how these sheriffs are monitored, especially how their funds are monitored, and the idea that they just get this money and you know, it's catch me if you can.
Right. Following the ruling, the Clinton County Commissioners, they called for immediate resignations. They said public trust has been broken and that this is about accountability, not politics. And they said that they have forfeited their right to serve in public office by doing this. You got to wonder how much of this behavior comes down to sort of that narcissistic attitude of, hey, I'm the top dog. Nobody can touch me.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about if you are the sheriff. I mean, essentially, you are the highest ranking official in the county.
Right.
And you got to be pretty grounded not to let that sort of thing run to your run to your head. And in this case, and again, we're not talking about some person who made an accidental, like I used the wrong credit card. Oops, sorry, I bought a stick of gum. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, clear intent and intentions, and what these people were doing.
Let's talk about what's going on in Carmel. Mayor Sue Finkham, she has withdrawn her plan to create a new nonprofit called Experience Carmel. This after she faced some pushback from the Carmel City Council. The plan was removed from the 26th budget proposal. And what this was is they talked about creating this nonprofit that would take over the 50-plus city events and festivals and handle all the city marketing duties.
Wait. Now, I'm seeming to recall there's something going on with the state of Indiana and a nonprofit, and the state of Indiana giving a lot of money to a nonprofit, Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and they didn't pay the money back. Are you catching on here, Casey? Like, there should not be any. You are the government. You're supposed to be a nonprofit. Of course, we know nobody's more in the profit business than the government. There should not be a reason for the government to form a nonprofit.
So they said that this nonprofit was aimed to cut costs and also streamline operations.
Wait. Time. So the government and government-related projects was going to create a company, give them money, and then they were going to do the job the government could just do, but somehow it was going to cut costs.
They were going to do it cheaper.
To create a whole new layer of people we had to go through.
Yep.
Okay.
So Finkham said that the plan would reduce the marketing and community relations budget by 82%, also save $1.7 billion, move 8 city employees to the nonprofit, which would reduce their costs on insurance and benefits as well, and they would rely more on private donations to support the nonprofit rather than tax dollars.
Here was always my question on this when people would come to us and they would say the government should. I would always ask, why isn't the private sector doing it? If this is you're going to tell me there aren't enough civic-minded people in Carmel to take over whatever these things actually are. It's our own thing. It's separate of you see what I'm saying? Like, why doesn't the private sector just do it? Why does the city need to form a nonprofit? You are the nonprofit. You are the government. See, this is how, and it goes right back to that IEDC group that is under all the scrutiny and not able to pay the money back. That never makes any sense to me. And it sounds like some people in Carmel were rather on alert about this as well and said, no way.
The council said that there wasn't enough time to set up and implement the nonprofit by 26. So they've got this revised budget and timeline.
But let's come back to it. If there's all these do-gooders in Carmel because you're setting up a nonprofit, which seemingly would mean you're bringing in outside people, why don't the do-gooders get together, form their own nonprofit, and then the city can evaluate, hey, is it worth it as a city government to just hand all of this stuff off to them and say the government has no business in this, and other than if you need space for something or whatever, y'all have at it. Like these are the questions that I would be asking. Maybe they've answered those questions, but clearly there are very viable concerns from people inside the Carmel city government. So as usual, people are thinking more along the lines of me.
The department's 26 budget is now $2.8 million. It's less than it was last year. And so Finkham hopes to revisit this for the 27 budget, and their city council is going to vote on a full budget for Carmel in late October.
Yes, it is budget season. I have some interesting stuff with their own budget that after Thursday I might be able to share with you in Warehouseburg. Oh, yes, it's budget.
You still have a $4 million patch of grass
we
there
do.
in
There's
Brownsburg?
still a giant $4 million empty patch of grass that the taxpayers have been paying for 3 years. Now, I was told that August was the deadline. I was told in a public meeting that August was the deadline for the proposed developer to act. And then I was told by very reliable sources, the developer was like, y'all are nuts around here. Get lost. I'm out. And so now they got to start all over again. So I don't know if the next developer will get another 3 years. But in the meantime, the town is paying on a $4 million bond that nobody's doing anything with. And, you know, there's no money for basic services like without raising taxes. But we got enough money to pay $4 million for an empty patch of grass.
Are you still talking about the aquatic center? Where are we at with that?
They claim
they tabled that?
No. They voted. They claim they didn't approve it. They just approved the what they call it, the master plan. Now, we haven't voted on anything yet, but we are telling staff to waste a bunch of time and resources, but we're not necessarily going to vote on it, but we're telling staff to waste a bunch of time and resources planning it. So, yes, they are in the process of going forward with the $100 million rec aquatic amphitheater, rec center, aquatic center, amphitheater that only less than 100 people said they wanted in a town of 30,000 people.
But you mentioned there's a master plan.
There is a master plan.
That's good to hear. Glad there's a master plan.
It's masterfully awful. Yes, there is a master plan.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Kimmel is back, but nothing has changed. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
The kids are heading back to school, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every single time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. repair. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Hi, I'm Becca, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As an in-house designer, I can't wait for you to see our incredible selection of stylish and stackable rings. If you're shopping for your wedding bands, we have high-quality designs for every style and budget, from romantic to modern. If you're looking to add to a stack, your options are endless. Discover styles with clusters of gemstones, sleek all-metal designs, updated cigar bands, and signet rings perfect for an engraving. Because a friend knows you like options. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
Game day starts with the Colts Ultimate Tailgate. Join WIBC October 12th at 9:30 a.m. at the Slippery Noodle for drink specials, games, prizes, and all the pregame fun you can handle. Don't miss Indy's Game Day Kickoff Party. More details at WIBC.com.
Yeah, okay, so Casey looks at me during the break.
No. You looked at me and you said, okay, what are we doing?
Well, yeah, and then you're like, Fat Bear Week.
I listed off a bunch of things.
I thought you were drunk or something.
No,
I was like,
no.
Fat Bear Week. You never. I can see Casey at 2 a.m.
Fat Bear Week.
Yeah, you've never even been to Fat Bear Week.
No, the things that I listed off were that they're saying that it costs $5 million now for the average American dream. The historic bricks that they unearthed at the Speedway. You've got NASA announcing 10 new astronauts, one of them from Indiana. And then I said, or Fat Bear Week.
Fat Bear Week, but I bet you don't want to ever talk about Fat Bear Week.
You looked up from your phone and you said, Fat Bear Week? What is that? I said, the online contest at Kitmay National Park in Alaska.
Because, of course, why wouldn't I know about that?
It's not the first time they've done this.
Well, it's an annual event. How could I not know? What is Fat Bear Week, Casey? Tell me.
It's the annual Fat Bear Week online contest. It is at the National Park in Alaska. It's a single elimination bracket tournament where you get to vote for the brown bear that best exemplifies fattest and survival success.
Wait. So they go snap photos of all these bears, and then you're like, I pick that one?
Yes.
Shouldn't it be obvious to see which the fattest bear is? Which one's the most round?
Which is the fattest? You can vote daily, Rob, at fatbearweek.org. They also have live cams, and you can watch the bears fishing and bulking up. And they also have before and after pictures, kind of like you with your hair. Transformation photos.
So, okay, so I saw this the other day. I was watching some old wrestling videos, and this had to be from the 1950s. And this was in an actual wrestling ring at an event. There were people there, like, watching. The man was wrestling a bear, Casey.
How did he do?
Well,
it's a small bear.
The bear won.
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming this bear was somewhat like a circus bear where it was trained, hey, don't kill the guy, right? But my favorite part of this was the referee was so afraid to be near the bear that when the bear pins the guy down, like they're doing wrestling moves on each other. It's an amazing thing. The referee, instead of getting down and counting 3, just taps the bear on the shoulder 3 times and then starts waving his arms like, hey, buddy, it's over. You're out. Like, he's a bear. He doesn't understand what you're saying. He's a bear.
You're out of there. Male bears can exceed 1,200 pounds.
You ever seen a bear in person?
Well, at the zoo.
Yeah.
Sure. But not in a wrestling cage.
They look so friendly.
You think so?
Until
you see their claws.
Yeah.
And one claw nail is
nasty.
as big as your finger.
Yeah, it mess you up.
Yeah.
I mean, you think, because humans sort of control the world. I mean, we do control the world. I mean, thanks to the good Lord above, of course. But then you realize, like, when you see a bear, you realize you're not in control of anything. Like, we've just had enough separation of us from the animals that we don't got to worry about them, for the most part anymore. But you realize, if you came face to face with that thing in the wild, you're done.
Mm-hmm. What is it? What's the saying? Black bear, lie down. Brown bear, get loud, or something like that.
You're making that up.
No, there's a saying.
You're going to give somebody some advice, and then they're going to come face to face with the bear.
No advice for me in regards to bears. Female bears weigh less than their male counterpart bears. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they use all of their energy raising the cubs.
Oh, so just like real life. Why is the mother always so angry? Because she does all the work raising the children.
She's just hungry. That's all. Wants time to eat. Bears, they gain, of course, most of their weight so they can survive hibernation. And then after hibernation, they lose between 15 and 30% of their body mass.
I saw this yesterday. I got to tell you about this. I saw the craziest looking spider yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Livy and I were out. Most of our audience knows my dad is my neighbor, and our yards are connected. And we were playing in my dad's backyard yesterday, and he has a shed in the back of his property. And went over there, and she's running around, and I look, and there is this giant, massive, multicolored spider slowly just, what do they call that with the web? Angling down, I don't know, from the barn. And I let out a shriek, probably like a 12-year-old girl. Kid's like, what the heck is going on here? I pick her up, run her away.
Ran away.
I ran away and had my old man get the spray, and that thing died a miserable, rotten death, which it deserved because it's a miserable, rotten thing. Spiders should not be multiple colors. I'm not a person if there's a spider in the bathtub that freaks out. That thing was bad.
Was it big?
It was massive.
Give me a size. Golf ball? What?
No. It wasn't like golf ball big.
Like tarantula?
No. But it had the legs, and its legs were moving, and it had the hump back. It wasn't a daddy long legs or anything. I mean, this thing was out to do damage. Do you have a fear of spiders?
I don't like spiders.
Yeah, like I said, I'm fine if it, my wife.
I don't like any bug that crunches.
My wife will scream all the time. There's one in the bathtub. I'm fine with that. I squish them, get them, throw them away, whatever. But when they're multicolored and they're big and their legs are moving quickly, even if they're on the web, no way. You need to go away. Not just go away from me. You need to go away from this earth. Goodbye.
We're going to go away. How about that?
Is it time already?
It is time. It's time for us to go.
Oh, it goes by
Thank
so
you,
fast.
Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening today. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln.
Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus, get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease. 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
98 years of quality and comfort with Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Since 1927, our family-owned store has been your trusted source for top brands like Lazy Boy, Flex Steel, Tempur-Pedic, and Smith Brothers. Hey, this is Spencer Thompson, and right now, during our 98th anniversary sale, save up to 50% off on furniture and mattresses, plus free delivery, interest-free financing, and extra discounts for cash. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tamara and Nigel to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
We're at 8,028.
Your criminal justice system has been hijacked.
28 points off of turnovers, 14 points off of offensive rebounds.